Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Balanced Life, Happy Life. I'm Sherry Danzig, and I'm going to be your presenter tonight. And I'm excited to be able to present this. I love this topic. I love this company, and I feel like I've been living it, consider, really recently. In that we just celebrated our oldest daughter who got married. So I have done some work. I met a customer, a new business partner to be on the way to the beach and talked to a few customers. And other than that, I was living a very balanced life with doing very little work. But my team was working, so that was exciting. So we're going to talk about balanced life, happy life. And we really do feel like we have a better way in which to make decisions, conduct your life, aspire to really living a rich life. And so doesn't matter how old you are or how you've been living up until this point, today you can make a decision to do it differently. And we hope that you will be excited as we are to embrace this concept. And now I got to figure out how my there we go. So this woman here is, she's singing my song. I was singing at the wedding, not really, but I felt like I was. This is a woman who is, she's on purpose. She's happy. She's feeling great. She's a human being more. And that is a big part of the motto of this company is humans being more. So as much as you're going to hear about products and about the overall concept of the company and some about the business, we are a personal development company with a business. And so, um, if you're not looking like this every day when you wake up, where you're ready to sing your song, again, lean in. Because so many people experience a lot of stress, and stress comes from lots of different places. And we're not here to say that you don't shouldn't experience stress because, life can be stressful. And there's too much of it. Oftentimes it's about, there's too much responsibility, there's too much conflict, there's too much demands, and too little time and too little free time. And sometimes or oftentimes too little finances to deal with the stressors that come up. So this is what is, our modern life, and it doesn't have to be this way. Just like aging doesn't have to look a certain way, living with stress doesn't have to look a certain way. So here is this beautiful model, and I love that Niken has had this for the 50 years that they have been a company. Is this philosophy is at the real heart of it. And if you look at this and you think about, having a healthy mind, a healthy family, healthy society, healthy body, healthy finances, that those are all in balance. We're not talking about perfect balance every day. That would be utopia. And this is a way that we really teach and offer a strategy so that you can be striving for all of these, and you can see that they're all equally as important to us through in this community of Niken. So think about the two areas that you would like to be really seeing improvements. We're nearing a half of the first of this year, the first half of the year. So where would you like to be at the end of this year? In pick one or two areas that you want to really lean into and think about how you can have that impact. And we'll come back to that at the end of this talk. So it can be kind of overwhelming if you're thinking, okay, well, I want to be a lot physically healthier or I want to be financially healthier, which are two of the most common areas that people feel the weakest in. And it can be overwhelming to think, how am I going to make changes? And it's that saying, take you don't eat an elephant, one bite, you eat it one bite at a time. That's kind of I'm a vegetarian, so that's a weird analogy. The idea of this, though, is to take small steps, small bites, small steps, and over time and being consistent will create compounding results so that you can have huge results. Now, this chart is saying 27 months, but really you could pick a couple of habits, one or two, and change those that are towards the two goals, the two areas of better wellness that you'd like. And you will see dramatic differences, I guarantee, in the next 6 months. You can really make a radical difference this way. Why do we need to be so focused on it? Well, all of us on this Zoom and anyone that's listening to the recording, I'm pretty sure is coming from North America. And North America compared to Japan, and we picked Japan because this company Nikken started as a Japanese company in 1975. And so when we do this comparison, you will see that Japan has figured out a lot of things that North America is really struggling with. The biggest thing at the bottom of the slide is the difference between sick care and self-care. And sick care is what North America is focused on when you talk about healthcare. You're not really talking about healthcare. You're talking about treating sickness. And that's because we spend so much more money. Actually, 90% of every dollar is on intervention. So we're not thinking about prevention. We're just living our lives with some bad habits that we could change. And that leads to being sick. And it might not when you're in your 20s and 30s, but eventually it tends to catch up. So the good news in this story is that you can make changes. The bad news is you got to take responsibility here. So if you look at this comparison, Japan spends about a third less in taking care of their health, but they live longer. They have a much better quality of life, considered to be number one in the world, whereas Canada 34th and the US is 68th. That's embarrassing numbers to compare it to. And Japan in that 90% in the US is on intervention. In Japan, they spend 90% on prevention. So if you start investing in your well-being preventatively, you're going to see great results. That's the real key here. So what are the things that we're having to deal with? These are just things that happen in modern life. So we've talked about stress already. Poor sleep, not enough sleep, not good quality sleep is a huge issue. Air quality with pollutants. We can't control what's outside. You're going to hear about how we can control it inside, but that's a reality, the toxins that are in our air. Water quality is a huge issue too, with so many chemicals in tap water. And unfortunately, so many chemicals can be in bottled water as well. Malnutrition, we talked about in that last slide, was talking about obesity and not being well nourished, eating a lot of fast foods and so forth, being on the run and not getting proper nutrition, all plays into this serious health risks. And then electrosmog is living on these modern technologies that nobody wants to live without Wi-Fi, but it is having an impact on our everyday, how our body is recovering and how it's just how it's dealing with all of the unnatural energies. So all of these areas are things, again, the good news is we can control it. We have some say in this. And this motto is so key, which is about choosing to be healthy, not by choice. I'm sorry, choosing to be healthy by choice, not by chance. And years ago, I rebranded my company. My company is called Choosing Vibrancy because I really believe we can educate people about the fact that you have a choice. You can make some changes in these different areas. You can feel empowered to have a really great life. And that sounds like that's the only path to be on, and that's the path we choose here at Nikken. So Nikken, I've mentioned this name so much. As I said, they've been around. They started in Japan for 50 years. They started in 1975. And they started with one product and a huge vision and this whole idea of creating balance and better wellness in these 5 areas. So it's a pretty lofty and fabulous philosophy and really a way to live your life.
Do you ever have days where everything in your life feels in balance? When your mind is clear and your body feels in tune with nature? When everyone in your family is healthy and happy? When you belong to and support a warm, loving community? When you have a stable income and no debt? Mind, body, family, society, finances. Nikken calls these 5 areas of our lives the 5 pillars of wellness. We help you cultivate balance in all 5 areas of life with the tools that build your wellness home. Because to breathe is to live, we focus on clean air. Because water is life, We focus on pure water because healthy food nourishes strong bodies. We focus on nutrient-dense organic ingredients because everyone needs restful sleep and energy to feel joyful. We focus on rest, relaxation, and magnetic support. And to keep you as youthful looking as you feel, we focus on naturally sourced marine organic skincare. Our vision is to share the 5 pillars of wellness with everyone. And we want to spread the word throughout the world. Because once you achieve a balanced lifestyle, wouldn't you want to help everyone you know to achieve the same wonderful life of active wellness? That's what we offer everyone who is part of our global wellness community. Join Niken to build your wellness home and live a life in balance. Discover it, live it, share it.
So, I'm going to cut to the chase. We're going to have a little bit more that I'm going to say and give you some more information. That's the real core of what we're talking about here. It's about living this life and sharing it with others. That is ways to accomplish this essence of well-being. And what we call it, it's under this umbrella that we call the wellness home. And the wellness home is all those different areas. So let's dig into that a little bit because don't you want to live in a wellness home? We don't want to live in a sick home. We want to live in a wellness home, right? So wellness home is about embracing this concept called biomimicry. And it's interesting that that term has been around for a while. I'd not heard about it until Niken brought that to my attention, but it is the study of how nature impacts us. And we all know I was just at the beach for 10 days, so I know how fabulous I feel when I'm outside at the beach. But really, just walking out into your backyard, you feel better because nature is designed to do that. So this is a very Japanese concept to bring nature indoors. And so this is how it looks. And, don't we all want to look out that window and see that that's what we're reminded of that's outside the
In a world,
I'm going to skip over that video just from the interest of time. It talks about biomimicry, but be sure you get that copy of that video if you're listening to this and ask the person that invited you to share that with you. So let's get into a little bit about what the wellness home looks like. So it is about these different areas. So there are 5 areas. There's healthy air. You saw that in the video. Healthy water, healthy sleep, nutrition, and then energy. And we think of the wellness home as a greenhouse for humans. Now we know about putting plants in a greenhouse and everything that is optimized so that those plants flourish. And that's what we're talking about here is creating an environment in your home so that your humans, and your fur babies also can absolutely flourish. So let's dive in a little bit deeper here. So we talked about air. So air quality is one of those things that it's one of the top toxins that make us sick. And our indoor air, believe it or not, can be worse than outdoor air because not only if you don't have anything in your device to clean the air in your home, then your lungs are taking the brunt of it. And there's a lot of things that we use every day that are, putting out chemicals and so forth. So indoor air is super important. Boy, was that certainly brought to attention when we had the pandemic. So this is an air filtration system that not only cleans the air really, really well, but it's also, remember, it's about nature. It's that biomimicry effect. So it brings in the best air in nature. It's like forest breathing. So you get that kind of air in your home. The water filtration, it's the water system that you see the picture. It's also a shower system. So it's your drinking water and your bathing water. And water is a real base. I mean, our bodies are about 70% water. So I always like to say that if you improve the quality of water, you're getting the most bangs for your buck. In other words, the investment returns so quickly to improve the quality of water that you drink. So you want to learn more about that. Sleep is truly at the foundation of the best wellness. In other words, you can eat really well, you can exercise like an athlete, but if you don't sleep well, you're not going to stay well because sleep is where that's that time of your day where about 90% of the healing, recovery, rejuvenation happens. So sleep is critical that you get deep restorative sleep. And these technologies are designed, again, harnessing nature to be cocooned in representing the science of sleep, but replicating nature in this environment that you get to sleep in. Nutrition, all of the nutrition, this is the picture you see is just a couple of them. The last couple of products that have been launched have been nutrition based, and we have fabulous nutritional products that are nutrition is only as good, the supplements are only as good as where they're coming from. And this company has the highest quality, the highest caliber of whole food nutrients that go into these supplements because it's pretty much impossible to get all the nutrients we need from our diets today. So you want to be supplementing and you want to lean into this, whether it's a meal replacement or helping your have a healthy gut or I mean, just on and on and on. The immunity product is one of my favorite to support the immune system. And then this last slide is natural energies. And that's so that during the day, we can get rejuvenated, we can feel energized, it helps to deal with stress. This necklace I'm wearing, I never take it off. I shower with it. I literally never take it off. Occasionally I take it off, for a fashion thing, but almost never. And that is, it just helps to keep my shoulders, my neck, all of this upper back relaxed, which we all could use a little bit less tension in our bodies. So I keep a back magnet that there's something in there that stays on my back. Again, it's on 24/7, except when I'm in the shower, that helps my back to feel so much better and helps it to stay relaxed. So these are things that you can have support during the day, every day. So what we love to do is share stories. So I'm going to stop the share for just a moment, and I'm going to ask a couple of people to share. Just raise your hand or jump in. You can unmute yourself if you have a story you'd like to share. I'd like to get maybe two stories, short and sweet, but let's share what is going on with these products and how incredible they are. Don't be shy, or I'm going to pick on you. All right, Madeline, I'm looking straight at you. You've got millions of stories, Madeline. You've helped so
I have
many
a new
people.
one. I have a new one. And so
Okay, tell
first
us.
of all, my most favorite story is the sleep system.
Okay.
It's, what got me into Nikan, and I love it. And I feel from uh, one of the slides that you covered, if you lose one good night's sleep, your immune system drops 60%. And so sleep is core. And then if you add water to it, it all works so much better. But my most recent one, I went to an event and wore a shoe that aggravated the inside of my heel in the back. So when I came home, I used CM cream on it. And then I had an old brown far infrared sock. Do you remember when we had the dress socks? I couldn't find the white ones that we have right now. So I found that one in the drawer, put that on there. And I wrapped a power chip on the outside. And when I woke up the next morning, the bruising was gone. It did not hurt. So it was applying a couple different modalities along with being in the sleep system overnight. But it was really hurting when I took the shoe off that evening. So a combination. So when you
Thanks,
add,
Madeline.
yes, thank you.
And if you're listening and you don't know what she just said, because we're talking about some products that may be unfamiliar, just ask. But it's basically, this is kind of like a natural first aid kit where we keep these products on so that instead of taking medicine, you have other options to use something that is completely natural, right? No side effects.
Well, and from that perspective, I've been a nurse since 1968.
Mhm.
So people say, Madeline, you're not doing that magnetic thing still, are you? And
Eh,
I said, my new nurse's bag, I have my new tools, a different set of tools.
Yep.
And I'm actually practicing more nursing by teaching, which what nursing is supposed to be, teaching others to live their highest level of wellness. Doctors do the medical treating. And so it's a new first aid kit in a bag, and you don't have to have any background in anything, but put it on anything and see how you
Wherever
feel
you hurt.
after. How
Yes.
you
Thank you, Madeline. Paula, you want to share a story?
Sure. The very first product that I was introduced to was the insoles. And it caught my attention because I put them in my shoes and I found that I didn't need that 3 o'clock coffee anymore. You know, it just sort of woke me up, kept me energized, whatever. But that was the biggest thing that I noticed when I first started using the insoles.
Wonderful. Thank you, Paula. Okay, we're going to go back to sharing. Thank you so much for sharing, the two of you. And there we go. Okay. For some reason, my computer always wants to aggravate me. There we go. Oops, that wasn't good. Oh, heavens. Come on. Okay, here we go. So the water system is oftentimes where I start with people that I'm introducing this because like I said, it has such an impact and I love that you can share something that will have such a big impact because water is one of those things that helps your brain fog, it helps you think more clearly, it helps you have more energy, helps you sleep better, it helps your gut, it helps weight reduction, it helps digestion. I mean, it's just on and on and on. And so it's one of those things that, most people are not well hydrated. So you can make a huge impact by sharing our waterfall system, which is nature's perfect water. And so what we invite you to do if you're looking at this and you want to be a customer is easy to be a customer, costs nothing to set up your account. You have a portal and then you can shop wellness. And what we also invite you to do is to start by taking the wellness quiz so you can learn about what areas it asks some fun questions and you get some clarity about what's important to you and where to start. But you can see all these areas between hydration, air, restful sleep, smart nutrition, nourished skin, less stress, vital energy. All of these things are great things to have, and they're all available to you by just setting up an account. So we also have packs, and the packs make it nice because it's simple. It's also, you get a savings of 10%. So the water pack has the shower system and the water system. The energy pack has all these things that you use during the day. I'm sitting on a magnetic chair pad. That's there. The back magnet, the insoles you heard. Madeline talked about a power chip, which is something you just put a magnet and the other technologies on your body. There's a lot of great things. Some jewelry. So that's great. Grounding pad. And then the sleep pack is the mattress topper, the comforter, and a pillow. So all of those things are wonderful as a way to start your wellness home. And we love to say you can start with one, or if you're able to, get all three, and you'll have a wellness home right away. Most people start over time. And if you can, get it all, get started. So the options are here for you to discover it and live it. You can become a customer. And like I said, it's easy to do, takes 2 minutes on the computer. You can upgrade at any time if you'd like to be a consultant, and that gives you the ability to promote the products and get some commissions back. The company will send you a check to say thank you when you have shared it with other customers, or you've shared it with other business partners. And if you really want to get excited and you really want to have an impact, you can then become a business partner and you have this community of people that are like-minded, and you'll see people they're excited, they're all different, different backgrounds, different professions, different ages, all of that. It doesn't matter who's on your team. It's that we all share this passion for sharing wellness. So let's do a quick little education about this because we're going to move into a little bit about the business because I want to give you a little bit of education about why you want to look at something like this. So this business uses a model of network marketing. Most people have a job. Most people are employees. And you can have a job. It's great to have a job and start this as a business because you can do this part-time. But let's look at what are the challenges of a job. A job we know gives you a paycheck, usually you're paid for not what you're worth, but what the job, the least amount that they can get away with paying you. But the problem with that is that it's only your time that you're being paid on. There's no leverage. So you're trading your time for money. Now, I've been self-employed. I've been a massage therapist for over 35 years. So I have that control, but I'm still trading time for money. Most people, that's what they do. Even if they're a solo entrepreneur and they own their own job, they still aren't leveraging anything because they just have their their time to make money. So where it gets interesting on this other side is when you start adding value is this business owner concept. This is where you use a system and then you get to leverage other people's time while you're building a team. So you're not taking advantage of everyone. Everyone is building their business. And it's like a franchise model where you're creating multiple streams of income. And what is so exciting about this, I want to point out this one statistic difference. On the left side, it represents 5% of the wealth, and 95% of the population is contributing to only 5%. Look on the other side here. 95% of the wealth, but only 5% of the population. So see, this is something that not everybody does. But when you really study this and you understand this model, you're going to see that this is something you can do to leverage your time to create multiple streams of income. And that creates 95% of the wealth. So don't you want to be a part of that? So here's a couple of different models because not everybody does the business the same way. You can choose, it's what fits for you. The retail model is you earn up to 30%, and that's simply where you are a consultant and you are retailing the products and you're paid up to 30%. Then you can take the second model, second tier, if you will, the small business model, and that's where you're also retailing products and you're bringing in a few business partners that also want to retail the products. So now you're up to 40%. The network marketing model, again, it's not for everybody and that's fine. But the network marketing model I have fallen in love with because that's that multiple streams of income. That's where you're getting paid 6 levels of people that have sponsored people that have sponsored people that have sponsored people, and you're creating it's now you're being paid on a lot of people and a lot of people's time. We only have 24 hours in the day, but if we start bringing in other people that get excited about this, we get to enjoy the fruits of other people's labor as well, which is fabulous. So this just gives you a visual here where this nugget in the center over there is your few customers and your few business partners, and then over time, you're creating again that 6% up to 6 generations, and you start reaching, and I know these names don't mean anything to you, but these are leadership names, and this is where this grows exponentially. So you can start with a handful of people, and over time, I mean, you could have at the outer circle where you can see those are big numbers of people that are part of your team. So it's a way to have a much bigger impact and not gobbling up all your time. And to that point, we can easily open up an apple and look and see it's got 2 seeds, right? I think all apples have pretty much 2 seeds. But the point of this is to create this vision that one apple and those 2 seeds, we don't know how many apples are going to be generated from those 2 seeds. In other words, you might bring someone in as a business partner and they could take off and flourish and have an international business. And we never know what kind of impact each person that we share this with will have, whether they're doing the business or they're simply being a great referral partner. It's about putting that pebble and seeing how far does the ripple effect go. So we're very familiar with these different platforms. Amazon, who doesn't use Amazon, whether you like it or not, and Uber is also very familiar. Nikken is the same thing. It offers a platform. We think we are the Amazon and Uber of wellness. So this slide here I love because I just came back from the beach and I did do a little bit of business. So wherever you are, you can do your business. You just have to have some sort of a device and some way to connect. And to sign up as a consultant, it's just around $40. So it's something that is very simple to get started and to do it just about anywhere you want to. So let's look carefully about what is it that you're actually doing. So as a consultant, this is the work you do. You join the business, right? And then you share. And that's the biggest part of it is sharing it with people, promoting it, talking about your story, other people's stories. You're just excited about that. And you're inviting people, just like you may have invited somebody tonight to come and join and to learn. You listen to this, you may want to share this recording with someone else. So we're just sharing and inviting. And that's that whole live and, to live it and to share it. And then from the standpoint of a business, the things that we don't like doing, Niken takes care of that. They do the inventory, they have the customer service, they deal with the shipping and all those kinds of things. They do the heavy lifting. We get to do the fun stuff of connecting with people. And that's why I say it, and lots of people that have been around have said it. We don't really feel like it's work because we're so passionate that I can be on vacation. Lainey, who I just heard from somebody on my team, was in the emergency room because she had some sort of a reaction. She was talking to the ER nurses there. Anywhere you are, you can share Niken. And Niken pays great rewards, bonuses, commissions, and some fabulous trips around the world. So we think this is the perfect gig. Why? Because it easily integrates to your life. Again, you have a job, great. Keep your job, do this on the side. Doesn't take a lot of time to do. And that's because we have a turnkey system. We teach you how to be an entrepreneur, how to be a successful entrepreneur. It's up to you what your goals are. And the rewards are as high as you want to shoot for it, right? So very low cost to get in, and you get trained as an entrepreneur, and you get fabulous personal development and leadership development. So it's really a fabulous way to be lifted up. Again, if you're looking at this for the first time, these ranks don't mean anything to you, but it's climbing a ladder where you're growing your team, you're growing your leadership. And the point of this slide is that you're not doing it by yourself. Other people are lifting you up and supporting you all along the way. This is a business that is for yourself and not by yourself. You definitely are part of this global wellness community. So we are entrepreneurs and part of the global community. Whether you want to be a customer or a business partner, we want you to join this global community. Too many people don't know about us, and we want to change that. Let's just take a second to look. The first 35 years, now the company's been around for 50 years. We've been in the US for 35 years. So the first 35 years, we did 4 billion in sales. We only had just over 1% of market share. And that was all of the baby boomers, right? Because that was me. I was a baby boomer when I got started. I was in my late 30s. But now here's what's happening. The boomers were most of that growth. But now the Gen X that are in the 40s and almost to 60, and even the millennials are getting older. So they're starting to get excited about thinking about what they need to do about their well-being. So we're looking at moving forward to be getting 5% of the market share and then 15% of the market share. So you can see where we are growing. How many billions we will do in the next few years is anybody's guess. But we're growing because this is how we grew the first 35 years. And so we're taking off. Question is, what part do you want to have in this? So again, do you want to start as a customer? That's great. Shop for the best wellness products on the planet. Or you can become a wellness enthusiast as a consultant. You upgrade, it's $40 basically. Or you can become a wellness entrepreneur, and we'll teach you how to become a fabulous wellness entrepreneur. Now, we talked about the products, and tonight was not about specific products. It was an overview. But every Wednesday we have a brand night where we focus in on products. And wouldn't it be great if I could tell you? And I will look really quick. So it is, I could just jump in here. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about sleep. So we're going to jump in. So come back tomorrow night. It's the same Zoom link as it was tonight, and we'll be talking about sleep. There's also a phenomenal library, YouTube library, that you can go and listen to all of these past presentations where we're sharing stories and presentations about our products. So the idea here is to live with more balance in your life and to feel good every day. Thank you all so much for being a part of this. And now what I want to do to close it off is I'm going to invite Yoko to come on. And hang on. I want to stop my share. There we go. And Yoko, I wanted to save you the best for the last and have you share a business story, because I wanted to, everybody's unique in how they build their business and why they were attracted to the business. And I'd love for you to share your story.
Well, I think my story is a story that many people can relate to. I was caretaking first my uncle, then my dad, and then my mom. And so in that process, I found out that what I consider was Western care or sick care was just not the right solution, because when I basically took them all off of everything, they basically lived a very peaceful ending. And that was taught me one major thing. There's got to be something out there that I have not looked for that was a solution for myself and my sister, because at that time we were in our 50s. And we said, we don't want to ever go through that ourselves. And so my sister happened to find a sleep system and a water system, invested into it. And all of a sudden, in a matter of a couple of weeks, I went over there and my sister was not walking around like an old lady. And her husband told me, Yoko, this is the best thing that's ever happened. I never slept so well. And this water is wonderful. And I said, water? I had dry skin, dry hair, dry everything most of my life because they took my thyroids out at 28. This is wonderful sick care. Okay. And so I invested into it. I said, hey, let me just try this out. It's got to be something. And actually, my skin and my hair, especially my skin, it was flaking because it was winter. It absolutely stopped flaking. And I said, it's taken me 20 some odd years to find this, but it's definitely worth it. So I did what I consider was what an entrepreneur would do, because I've been an entrepreneur or a business person, corporate business person for 40 years. I have never heard of this. And I said, why have we not heard of this? So I checked out the company and I said, now I understand. It's a company from Japan. Now I can relate to that because I'm Japanese American already. And I said, that means it's more natural. And as I researched it and as I looked at it, I became a customer, I became a consultant, and now I'm basically a global wellness consultant like many of the people here. I'm here to be able to make sure that everyone is at least aware that there are choices, just all the choices that Sherry spoke about today. And think about the fact that you have a choice now to be able to create whatever income you want. You're not told what to do. You're not told where to go. You're not told where to drive to. You have all of this wonderful choice and freedom, and then it's all up to you to see what you would like to do. So all I can say is check this out. There are so many wonderful options that are open to each one of us. And thank you, Sherry, because to me, this is the best global community that I have ever been into, because everyone is collaboratively helping and assisting each other. That doesn't happen in corporate America. Okay. Have a great, great evening, everybody, and check us out. All right.
Thanks, Yoko. That was awesome. Thanks, everyone, for listening. I hope you took something important away from it. Share this. The video will come out. Ask the person that invited you how to get the video so you can learn more, because we want you feeling good every day and living a balanced life. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Excellent.